music of Spain, not from Madrid, but from San Juan, Puerto Rico, part of the province of the Caribbean of the Episcopal Church, a ministry stretching from the Virgin Islands and the Dominican Republic into Colombia and Ecuador on the tip of South America, through the nations of Central America, terminating in the giant called Mexico. The two great issues of this area, people and land, far too many of the first, far too little of the second. The dominant feeling, the necessity for change. Change thus far gradual but becoming open-ended. Change demanded, especially by the young, dissatisfied with anything or anyone holding their nations back. The dominant religion, imported from Spain, not from the United States or from England. The question is obvious, asked by an Episcopalian, a young seminary student from Jamaica.
The big problem that we have here with the Episcopal Church, where there's no such thing as a bourgeoisie, as what the Episcopal Church is known to be, and how is the Episcopal Church going to fit in here? I mean, what's her mission here in the Caribbean?
What is the mission of the Episcopal Church in the Caribbean? This is the area around Lake Isabel in the lowland jungle of Guatemala, 15 miles from the Caribbean coast. Villages of thatched houses occupied by farmers and their families, mostly Indian, that make up 70% of the population of Guatemala. Villages of rural poverty, like many in Central America, poverty of the land giving rise to poverty of the people. The country around Lake Isabel is rich in children, if nothing else. A third of the people are under the age of 10, and in 15 years it is estimated the population will double. Like children everywhere, they are lovely, at least outwardly. Within, most are anemic because of the lack of protein in the daily diet of corn. Most are also filled with the intestinal worms from which eventually many will die. All are put to work in the fields from the time they can walk.
Hey! Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Uno, dos, tres.
The primary mission here is to teach. Spanish is the language of all culture and industry in Guatemala, and here in the Quiche Indian village of El Chapin, where there is no government school, the children learn only the Indian dialect into which they were born. In the cities beyond the area of Lake Isabel, there are few things less marketable than the guttural language of a Quiche boy. Henry Bull, an Episcopal teacher from British Honduras.
In this last 2 years, I have made enormous stride in this village of El Chapin. I have some very bright children here, but the fathers rather have them in the field to work for them. We have a couple of very bright children that have enormous potentialities that might take them forward to a better life. We have got another little Quiche boy, which is very smart. We have asked the father and mother to let him go out and study because they don't want it. They are Catholic people, and they figure that by the Episcopal people take him out, he might become an Episcopalian. But we have always tried to tell them that we never come here to impose religion. We just come to preach Christ and teach, that's all. So
The Episcopal Church in the village of Mariscos, 2 hours by boat from El Chapin. In Mariscos, the Reverend Fred Altman is in charge of the mission. His hope, to find a crop which will produce in the sterile soil. He has planted 70,000 rubber trees, a crop brand new to the area. If the experiment works, the people will for the first time be able to sustain themselves.
Most of the people here in Mariscos are not living here for a long time. When the mission started, there were only 4 or 5 houses, but now there are around 100, 200 houses with cucalas included. The people have realized now that they can come in here and get land from the landowners for a certain rent or at other places for nothing. They are not real farmers, but they have come down here because they were poor and they were looking for a living.
Juan Mejia, farmer. His crop is the staple of Latin America, corn. The land he farms is marginal at best, jungle, filled with things not meant for bare feet. Scorpions, tarantulas, coral snakes, the works. To farm this land, he must first slash out the jungle growth, then burn what is left for what little fertilizer the ash contains. Around Lake Isabal, the air is blue with the smoke of burning land. Perhaps 2 crops of corn will come from this before the soil is exhausted. Then Juan Mejia must move on.
Juan Mejia came down in his village 8 years ago, and he started there just as anyone else because he thought that this area had more opportunity for farming. He has to walk a long way to get to his lot in Camp 3, and he doesn't do this for fun because he cannot get land anymore in Camp 2. This is the reason. Or he has to go through great expense of cutting down forest. And this is the way he lives with his family, supporting them with corn and beans again. And he has pigs. So he is one of the more fortunate people, I think, in his village because he has pigs. Not many have pigs. He's doing well, so to say.